Hello, my name is Matthew, and I believe this is part 4 of my 6K Q&A. It's 3 or 4 now. This is when I start getting confused. And I remembered Candide's love was Cunigod. So, Cunigod. So here we are. That reading guy. Um, what is the... No, I just read that one. So, Yassine Maklouf. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Congrats. If you don't mind, could you share your spiritual beliefs? Um, well, I don't have spiritual beliefs. Um, I am very interested in a lot of religious texts. I read the Bible quite often, multiple times a week. I spend time with the Bible. There's been a long time where I read books or passages every single day. I do find um, a lot. I find a lot of enjoyment and beauty, and um, I find the stories so archetypal and endlessly fascinating throughout the Old Testament. The Old Testament is just such a gold mine, fissures that just go in every direction. And the New Testament is also just this bottomless well. Um, as far as like spiritual beliefs, like in pragmatic terms, um, if we're just thinking about like how to live a good life, setting aside whether or not you go to heaven or things like that, which I don't think about. But what do I do while I'm awake here during my lifetime? Um, and the idea of living a good life can be a big question. Are you wasting your time? Are you doing trivial things that are you bothering yourself about trivial things that don't really matter? Are you obsessing in a way that's harmful? All those kinds of things. I'm sure that I do, but I do try to, like while I'm at home, um, my main concern is the care and comfort and love of my two cats. If I'm at home and doing the right thing, then um, we're all comfortable and safe, and I can rub Andy's belly. I can grab his paws. I can grab Daphne's hind legs, and they'll just purr and be totally content. Um, as far as doing the right thing, um, I find that um, right and wrong are really not all that complicated. I think it's really simple in realistic terms. The day to day things that I do, it's easy. If um, if I'm walking behind someone in a parking lot and a $20 bill uh, unknowingly slips out of their hands and falls on the ground, it's easy to know the right thing to do is you pick it up and uh, say, "Hey, sir, ma'am, you dropped this." Um, Making excuses one way or another, justifying why the wrong thing you did was okay. That's a whole other thing. But um, I tend to know it's easy to know right from wrong, and my cats know right from wrong. Um, if I said that we were going to have treats, um, and then I just started only giving Daphne a treat, um, Andy would have a fit and go ballistic. He knows that's not right. Daphne knows what right from wrong. So I don't really insert any kind of spirituality as a way to enrich my life. Um, so those are my thoughts on that. Are you aware of the screenwriter Charlie Kaufman? What do you think of his work? Have you read his novel Ant Kind? So Charlie Kaufman, did he write or direct? Am I thinking about like adaptation? Something called like Syncodote, New York, with Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm not quite sure, but I'm thinking that name sounds familiar. And it's these really strange concepts, things that are very like surreal and absurd and unsettling and really fun. I think Syncodote, New York, that one I felt like was that one was depressing, but I also felt like it was a bit of a chore to watch, mainly because of the length. Was it a really long movie? I'm not sure. And I have not read the book Ant Kind. Wow, love a channel on books. Are you a SJC alum by chance? The chair and books seem so familiar. SJC, so you might be thinking about St. John's College, which maybe makes sense. That's a reading college. And coincidentally, I live fairly close to St. John's College. It's in Annapolis, which maybe it's an hour and a half drive for me or something like that. And I've been there before, and I remember maybe my mid 20s, something like that, late 20s. I had first heard about it, and so it's a reading college, which means they don't use textbooks, and instead it's a college where you only read original material. It's basically 4 years of the longest list of classics, and you start at the very beginning, which could be maybe things like Homer, the Iliad, the Odyssey. Maybe it's the beginning with the Bible, but you just start at the beginning, and you just start drilling through. And at least one version of it is you just go through chronological order, reading the words. You're reading the text. You're not reading literary criticism or essays or textbooks. You're just reading the books. And if I remember correctly, I don't think they have typical standardized tests. I think that you like write your presentation, you write your essays as not just to get grades, but part of the instruction is like you using your mind to be able to articulate and digest and reflect on what you had read, and to show an improvement and how do you express yourself, which is what you're doing while you're reading. And I mean, if when I was at the age where I would had been applying for colleges. At the time, I wasn't really a reader, so even if I had known about it, it wouldn't have been on my radar. And then by the time I did hear about it, I was already reading so much. Not like I had already read everything and it wasn't worth it, but instead I was already a self-motivated reader. So I maybe had a small thought about it, but really in passing, I just carried on with what I was doing. Maybe they have orange chairs. I'm not really sure. But this is my tiny house, so. Okay, I think that's it for that. Okay, Gina Stanier Books, another uh, colleague, fellow booktuber, says congratulations, thank you. Um, your little channel is amazing. I'm watching from Buenos Aires. Why, thank you. Ochin Q, congratulations. Oh, I think we're all done. Um, Jungustine, wowza, that's a respectable number for BookTube. What? Come on. Well, that's it. Um, so thank you everyone for spending time with me, watching these videos, showing interest, leaving comments. Thank you for everybody that left me a comment. Thank you for anyone that watched all these. My goodness, thank you. Leave comments if you would like. I'm gonna go back to reading Middlemarch and enjoying my day off. So thank you. Take care.